law firm with offices throughout the Bay Area. To schedule your free consultation, call us toll-free 1-888-TAX. That's 888-TAX-EXIT. 888-TAX-EXIT. And make us your last stop. One more time before the top of the hour news, we check back with the best in your local Las Vegas traffic. You've got better news for favorite.
I do. A round of applause for the crews on the Bay Bridge who managed to clear the Century crash fairly quickly here. It happened before the island westbound that's going to ride into San Francisco. At one point we had 3 lanes blocked. It's already out of the way. The lanes are clear. You can see the backup is dissipating already. There's still a backup in the toll plaza. The metering lights have been on. And because we had an afternoon gaming giant at Oracle Park, there's no let-up yet for traffic trying to get out of San Francisco. The game ended just a couple of hours ago now. It's still really tied up on northbound 101 backup from before Cesar Chavez. Just sweeping along on East for your trip up eastbound into Oakland. So Oakland freeways had a chance to clear out. No problem there. That's the incident we had before University Avenue eastbound 80 also gone to the East Shore Freeway. Great. Your next update at 7:08 with Claire Beverly on the traffic center. Gusting near the Coastal Bay. The evening's supposed to die down overnight. Cooler temperatures, partly cloudy skies. We're going to fall to below average by Friday. Traffic and weather together on GPS. Coming up Monday, people were in the mayor and congressman told they had out whatever it goes down. A tribute to a man who was everybody.
I'm Jeffrey Stout in Williams County. Firefighters and station along with 3 miles of Newport.
Good evening, I'm Patty Lyons.
And I'm Jim Stone.
CBS News covers the world. Now, when you need to know, KCBS AM, KFRC FM, and HD1, San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose, and Odyssey Station. 7 o'clock.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper in Chicago. In an effort to fight inflation, the Federal Reserve raises the key interest rate by 3/4 of a point. It's the largest hike in nearly 3 decades. CBS's Ed O'Keefe says both the White House and the Fed still think there are some reasons to be optimistic.
People are able to find jobs. The economy is still growing. Yes, prices are high, but that's driven in part by the post-pandemic adjustments that we're in the midst of. Republicans would argue, other economists would argue, there are some government policies in place with this Democratic administration causing it as well, or things they can change to help drive down the prices. But either way, a similarly rosy assessment overall, despite the fact that we're all paying much more for goods, services, and gas.
American children as young as 6 months are one step closer to getting a COVID vaccine. CBS's Natalie Brand. FDA panel voted to authorize shots from both Moderna and Pfizer. The CDC says more than 440 children ages 4 and under have died from COVID during the pandemic, and hospitalizations among that age group have risen during the Omicron surge. Pfizer says its 3-shot series is 80% effective in preventing symptomatic infections in young children.
A third dose is necessary to provide high protection against Omicron.
That's Pfizer Senior VP Dr. William Gruber. The CDC will decide whether or not the Moderna and Pfizer vaccines get approved. White House medical advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci has tested positive for COVID-19. He's fully vaccinated and double boosted and is said to be experiencing mild symptoms. Montana's governor is asking for help after unprecedented flooding at Yellowstone National Park. CBS's Jonathan Bigliotti reports the northern half of the park got the worst of the damage and may not reopen for months.
More than 10,000 visitors have been told to leave the park, a dangerous trek for some. As this video shows a rock slide narrowly missing a car trying to flee to safety. The park closures come as the tourist season was about to kick off, a popular destination for more than 2 million visitors each summer.
There is more rain in the forecast for Montana this weekend. The congressional panel probing the U.S. Capitol attack is looking more closely at the role of a controversial Supreme Court spouse. CBS's Tom Sully explains.
CBS News confirms a report originally in the Washington Post, but the committees obtained previously unknown emails between post-election Trump lawyer John Eastman and the wife of a Supreme Court justice. That is political activist Ginny Thomas, married to Justice Clarence Thomas. The Washington Post reported those emails show that Mrs. Thomas's efforts to overturn the election were more extensive than previously known.
This is CBS News.
This hour's newscast is presented by Rocket Mortgage. When you need cash out of your home and a simple way to get it, Rocket can.
It's 7:03 at the Bay Area's news station, KCBS. Going to be clear tonight, lows in the 50s, sunny and warm, cooler. In fact, the cool is coming in over the next couple of days. Good evening, I'm Elisa Clancy, and here's what's happening. Former Congressman and San Jose Mayor Norm Mineta was honored today in San Jose. As KCBS's Megan Goldsby reports, his ashes are lying in honor at City Hall today.
Norm Mineta, who died last month at the age of 90, was the first person of color to be elected mayor of San Jose, his hometown. He was also the first Asian American to hold a U.S. cabinet position and the longest-running transportation secretary. This in addition to being a Congress member for 20 years.
He was the most impactful person in the history of San Jose.
Ron Dierdon Sr., a transportation leader himself, counted Mineta as a close friend. He says Mineta was quickly successful as a young Congress member.
He had authored or helped pass several landmark issues, such as having the president apologize to the World War II Japanese American internment and pay reparations to survivors.
A group that included him and his family. Former San Jose Supervisor Blanca Alvarado said we'd be fortunate to have more politicians like Mineta today.
Today, polarized world is very different. Norm, in his gentle and persuasive manner, but his way smile, would reach across the aisle, not for his glory and prestige, but to build lasting partnerships to benefit the common good.
Make Goldsby tasty.
And in another blow to San Francisco's mid-market neighborhood, Block is leaving their headquarters. Tech company, formerly known as Square, plans to allow employees to work remotely full-time. And as KCBS's David Welch explained, local businesses expect to feel the loss.
Uber moved their headquarters to this neighborhood last year. Now Block is the latest tech firm to leave this once thriving pocket of the city. Catherine Chow runs an udon shop in the same building as Block. She says that even with people working from home, Block's employees made up a big chunk of their business.
I mean, we still see this from time to time, employees here and there, but not as much as, pre-pandemic.
Chow says she worries about what the news will mean for the neighborhood.
There's going to be less foot traffic, and it's going to make the area seem less activated.
She says her business has been waiting for workers to return to the office.
We're hopeful that people will come back for 3-4 days a week, and now, with all the surges, things just keep getting pushed back.
And she sees Block's decision to go fully remote as another challenge for the udon shop.
Small businesses, we can only wait for them so long, kind of rely on the neighborhood, so it's hard. It's definitely a challenge every day.
In San Francisco, David Welch, KCBS.
And over the course of the next year, work will begin on upwards of 100 fire mitigation projects across Marin County. Part of a $20 million publicly funded program that was announced this week. KCBS's Jeffrey Schaub reports the projects include creation of 83 miles of fuel breaks in the Ross Valley and Nevada.
It could take years for fire crews like this team cutting trees and brush behind a San Rafael neighborhood to complete the 83-mile-long fire break, an unprecedented effort in the Bay Area.
It gives us greatly just having the funding for to be able to carry out these projects.
Kate Anderson is hazard mitigation specialist for San Rafael Fire, a newly created position not possible without funding from the Marin Wildfire Prevention Authority. This year, it will dole out $20 million in property tax money for vegetation management, evacuation routes, and homeowner grants.
The other really incredible part about the Marin Wildfire Prevention Authority is that it is almost a county-wide program. And that really enables us to look at the landscape as a whole and not with arbitrary lines of jurisdiction.
A wildfire in San Rafael's Dominican neighborhood last week could have been much worse had homeowners not cleared a large area around their property. In San Rafael, Jeffrey Schaub, KCBS.
And coming up on KCBS, unlike a wall in Santa Rosa, filth and squalor was a model for supportive housing.
Those living in a converted hotel say the living conditions have become untenable.
Traffic and weather together on the 8th, 7:08. Our first report with Claire Beverly takes us to a very slow Bay Bridge.
Good evening. Yeah, it is a tough one on the Bay Bridge. There was a very bad accident on the upper deck, 80 westbound, just before you get to the island, blocking up a couple of lanes for quite some time. That has cleared, but because of that, they still have the metering lights on. So you're still slow there, bunching up in the metering lights. But now that that crash is gone, I hope that they will turn them off in just a few minutes. Up ahead, coming into the city, it's sluggish from just about the San Francisco Anchorage onto westbound 80 as you merge with 101. Leaving the city, really slow. Northbound 101 jams up still from Cesar Chavez onto 80 eastbound, which is slow all the way across the island. It really doesn't get better until you're right as you drop past the toll plaza, getting into Emeryville and Oakland. And now we do have a problem as well in the Sunnyvale area. Highway 101 southbound just to the south of Ellis. There was a wreck in the left lane. Now over the right shoulder, but traffic is still backed up coming out of Mountain View on southbound 101 from right around Regstorf. Our next report is 7:18 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
Thank you, Claire. Mostly clear tonight with lows in the lower 50s, and it'll still stay breezy, sunny and warm tomorrow. A little bit cooler than today. There's a cold front moving in. We'll see over the next couple of days. The high 60s at the coast, 60s and 70s by the bay, reaching 80s inland tomorrow. Traffic and weather together on the 8th on All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS.
Prime members, save at Whole Foods Market on your favorite steaks for grilling. Get bone-in beef ribeye steak for $13.99 a pound through June 21st, while supplies last. Learn more on the Whole Foods Market app.
Hi, this is George with New Life Property Investments, and I buy houses in cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 925-490-2000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 3 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and any location in the San Francisco Bay Area. I am a private real estate investor who buys several houses, and I want to buy yours. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses, and I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent. You have a house that is trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying fixer-uppers too. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and foreclosure houses. If you or someone you know is looking to sell their house and want to sell it fast, call me at 925-490-2000. That's 925-490-2000, 925-490-2000. Have you noticed? Getting hot out. So don't let termites take over while you're on vacation. Hi, Joe Starkey here. My friends at Pacific Coast Termite have treated over 50,000 homes, including mine, and commercial businesses, and they can help you too. Their service professionals are uniformed, clean, and polite, and provide a 2-year guarantee on all their termite work. If you call now, you get a free inspection, plus 10% off any termite treatment you may need. Call 1-800-PACIFIC. That's 1-800-722-4342. Pacific Coast Termite uses orange oil plus, so you and your pets can stay in your home. No fumigation to force you to bag your food. No need to move out. Pacific Coast Termite is a trusted company, and they've been with KCBS for many years, and they're A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau. So if you call now, you get 10% off termite treatments. And have you noticed rodents? Oh, yikes. We did, and Pacific Coast Termite took care of that problem, too. Call them like I did. 1-800-PACIFIC. That's 800-722-4342 or PacificCoastTermite.com.
Welcoming you back to appointment day at the Martinez house. Raul Martinez looking stressed about scheduling a colon cancer screening. But he just pledged to get screened.
Stand Up to Cancer at Optum want to help you reduce your risk for cancer. Visit TakeAHealthyStand.org.
KCBS News Time, 7:11. Once seen as a model of supportive housing, those living in Santa Rosa's Palms Inn now say the facility has been overrun by drugs and filth. KCBS's Mike DeWald reports it's left many wondering where the oversight went.
Those living at the former hotel site say the Palms Inn began with the great promise of possibilities and a growing community. But as time went on, the attention turned from what was initially seen as a success story. Kalani Raposa lives at the Palms. He says things began to change.
There are people living at the Palms that aren't residents there, but they control the environment.
Raposa says the Palms became overrun. Crime, prostitution, sales and use of meth and fentanyl is rampant with little to no response.
All night long, people yelling and screaming. Couples in the parking lot fighting over the last 6 adults. At night, The last thing I hear before I fall asleep at night are drug deals being made outside my door.
He says it was a problem only worsened by the pandemic.
I talked to my case manager and said, things are getting pretty bad here. And his suggestion to me was move.
Proposes says Catholic Charities case managers used to be visible and check in regularly. Now they're barely around.
The case managers are so out of touch with their clients that they don't even know when they die. And that's a problem.
In Santa Rosa, Mike DeWald, KCBS.
In a statement to KCBS, Palms Inn owner Akash Kalia says housing this population is incredibly challenging, with that many having underlying health issues along with terminal illnesses. He plans to increase on-site safety by adding security gates and requiring visitors of residents to check in. He also plans to bring back community events from a COVID hiatus to help rebuild the culture. KCBS News Time 7:13. We are 2 minutes from the sports desk.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they had atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
If you work remote, Staples has you covered.
A mid-mod desk chair to rejuvenate my ho-hum workspace.
Staples has you covered.
A place to put my papers so I can be more productive.
A storage cabinet that I can roll out of the way on weekends.
Staples has you covered with remote workspace solutions. And now get 25% off storage and filing products, chair mats, decor, and lighting with the purchase of an office chair or desk. Explore solutions for your remote workspace at Staples, the working and learning store, and in-store only.
Research shows listeners don't like it when ads interrupt their music. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual customizes